Welcome back, one and all, to the LEC. We are coming into game 2 of our best of 3, our first series of the day. Still joined by Vedius. He's still spoiling things that are very old, much like himself. But we're going to come in here, and of course, Astralis. I'm sorry, I woke up.
I feel like you just compared me to like spoiled milk, you know?
That was your
old
mind.
And spoiled, okay?
That's your mind. That's nothing to do with me. You come up with that comment. But coming into this one, Mad Lions, they played standard, they played scaling, they got the win. Astralis got to do something different in this game, even in draft, just to try and make something of this game.
That they do. We'll see what direction Astralis does in fact go. Will they go for a little bit more scaling themselves? Will they aim for a stronger team fight? Will they commit to having a better early game? Let's have a look and see. The Maokai was something that I think was problematic when it came to the team fights. Excuse me. So let's have a look. All right, so the bans so far the same. Blue the Caitlyn. Ashe was what Astralis also chose to ban. And there's that Maokai. So a small adaptation. Astralis clearly saying that they don't play it. Which isn't, well, when you look at 113's Winter Split, that's not too surprising. What does surprise me is that someone wouldn't want to play Maokai.
Yeah.
It's
so easy.
It's so easy. I
like, gets to 25, 30 minutes, hits a sapling that I placed 40 seconds ago. Oh, 700 damage.
I mean, but hey, you know, maybe there are things that I don't fully understand. Regardless, Maokai and Sejuani will be removed from the pool. Caitlyn and Elise. Ashe is the big power pick that is still up and available. The question is, will it be banned away? Or will instead we see something else? Nami, perhaps, the Lucian, and it will be the Varus. Okay, so again, we've seen a number of different AD carries from Kobbe, so Mad Lions are just removing the Varus because it's something that they don't want to have to deal with. This does leave open, well, a couple things really. If they want to grab the Lucian for themselves, if they think that it's problematic, of course, it's not like that the Ezreal Karma was something that you can see Finn having a bit of fun, but the Ezreal Karma wasn't exactly problematic. But it does look like Astralis is in fact saying, you know what, the Lucian. Yeah, he's like, okay, they're mocking each other, they're having a bit of fun on stage. I like to see it. Bit of banter between the two teams in draft.
And look, I'm not going to say that it's going to be a pretty standard bot lane into jungle pick, but it's probably going to be a pretty standard bot lane into jungle pick from both sides here. And Elyoya saying, look, cool, you got rid of the Maokai, I'm going to take that Vi away from you. I will say 113 was very good in the early stages to try and find some decent gank paths off, to try and catch out the bot lane specifically of Mad Lions. But this time around, it's going to be Elyoya taking the Vi. Very, very simple champion. Just see, especially when you hit level 6. See champion, that's the one we want to kill. Right, I'm going in.
Wouldn't be surprised to see, yeah, I was actually going to say a mid lane lock-in for Astralis is something that they have shown before, and Dajor is very comfortable on the Sylas. It is his most played. They wanted to try and secure it early, and that's exactly what they're going to do. This does give room for, the cheeky Yone over from Nisqy. This does give room for Mad Lions to limit the jungle pool a little bit more. I think Trundle is something they should actually consider banning away, because we know that 113 is willing to bring it out. The Draven gonna come out from Carzzy, a very aggressive bot lane 2 versus 2. We've seen Hansama, and I think it was Patrick during the regular season, and I think we've also seen it from Jack Spectra. But Draven Nautilus, very powerful duo, is what we've often seen. Draven Ashe, not something we often see, but double hail of blades.
Very volatile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very volatile. I will say, the Draven is fantastic if you can get it a kill. I literally only bring this up because we had a game in the LPL literally this week where Dajor went 0-0-0 in the entire game because they just did not play anything around it. They did not allow him to play in the game. So that can keep stacking, and it will, you know, you get those adorations, you get the execute, but if you just don't get that kill, it can feel like a false promise, really. It kind of feels like a false prophecy that you're going to be able to turn the game around.
Just have this image of a Draven walking around the map being like, what the hell is everyone?
What's going on?
You know that cat meme where he's like looking over the fence being like, what you doing over there? Like,
what's going on? Yeah. just the John Travolta like looking around, like confused, like with hands up and stuff. But
I don't expect that to happen this game. I think Elyoya's gonna dive bot. I think that he is gonna pair up with Nisqy, and I think that Mad Lions is gonna look to show Astralis how it's done in the early game. We'll see if they're actually able to do it though. Gangplank gonna be taken away from Finn. This does suggest to me that Mad Lions is thinking about a Jax for themselves. Maybe they want to go for the K'Sante once more, though, but I feel like that they're going to lock in the Ryze now. I mean, that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You already know what you're playing into in the mid lane. And for those that don't remember, Nisqy, back when he was on Fnatic, I believe it was Sylas, Ryze, Twisted Fate.
Yes.
The 3 champions he played all split.
That was a long split. That was the old format.
I mean, they finished. I mean, yeah, they finished second place that season. They ended up losing to the Mad Lions. But Nisqy is a very prominent Ryze. He is very much about roaming, looking to be active on the map. And yeah, we'll see if he can get unlocked on the map. Meanwhile, Astralis responding with a Jax and a Jarvan. So a little bit more team fighting power. And but again, more towards early game, more towards this 1-3-1 style.
Yeah, and the Jarvan being locked in just kind of lend into what we've been saying all series about 1-1-3. He likes to engage. He likes to be the initiator for his team. And honestly, with the way the bot lane is kind of gone right now, is that you're seeing the Namis, the Ashes, the Heimerdingers. You need that initiation. You need someone to be able to put them in, which generally falls on the shoulders of the jungler. So 1-1-3 picks up that one. And of course, you're going to see the Gragas go into the Jax just as a mitigator in that top side.
And let's talk about how Astralis' draft has shifted from game 1 to game 2. Yes, it does require a little bit more early game presence. You still have strong side lane threat in the form of Sylas and Jax, but in team fights, it now all wants to do the same thing. Lucian is quite short range, Sylas wants to dive in, but Lucian has way more mobility to be able to navigate these fights. He's got a lot more initial burst. The Nami can offer more utility from the backline, with the Jarvan also having strong lockdown for the Draven, so if he ever loses his flash, it's very easy for these dive champions to get on top of him, and then it's difficult for the Draven to escape. There's also not a lot of peel on the side of Mad Lions compared to the previous game. There's not a lot of massive AoE crowd control outside of the Gragas that can be used to disengage a little bit more. But it's a lot more volatile on the side of the Mad Lions. Again, whenever you see Vi and Ryze, don't be surprised to see an early mid lane gank. And there should be early mid lane action into heavy bot lane focus, because both these bot lanes want to try and get ahead.
We're going to see how both these teams play as we jump into our second game.
Hey Odi, thank you so much for joining me for this game too.
Hello.
Real quickly, when I had my interview with Dajor, he said you guys are very willing to go against Elyoya and Nisqy for that 2v2. Do you think that worked out in game number 1?
No, I think we slipped a few times here and there in game 1, so obviously it didn't really go according to plan, but I do believe we actually showed up early game pretty well. We just lost control of the game mid-game, so we will see how we do this game. I think agency is on their side this time, so it's on us to stop it.
Now, a lot of the teams choose to pick red side. You guys chose blue side, and we saw that Lucian is a priority on blue side. Is the bot lane somewhere you guys believe you can be superior in?
I mean, we had to shake things up a bit. I think it's a good idea. Like, there was some things we wanted to change, and yeah, I think it's never a bad idea to just swap things around and see how enemy reacts to you, you know? It can be a game free as well after that, so I think it's just good to study them.
Well, thank you very much, AOD. We have some action on the Rift. Oisin and Vedi, back to you.
Thank you so much, Trouble. Good insights there. I like as well, you said, look, we had to change something up. We had to give something different in this game because we knew we were kind of playing on the back foot now that we're 1-0 down. But it is good to see Astralis kind of being a little bit more aggressive. We saw 1-1-3 just kind of being a nuisance in around that banana bush and just saying, look, I know where you're going. I'm going to see if I can get into your heads a little bit.
Side of a bit of battle for the early game vision, nothing too crazy. You can see the runes on your screen as well. But yeah, interesting to see how Astralis shake things up. He talks about how there's a little bit more agency and responsibility on Mad this time around. We'll see if they're able to pull it off. But we do have to give some accolades and recognition for Carzzy. This is, well, last game was in fact his LEC 100th win. Congratulations to Carzzy. Man's been LEC for a very long time now. 2 championships under his belt, or 2 title holders, I should say. And yeah, 100 LEC wins now, quite an accomplishment. He still feels like a bit of a, I don't want to word this poorly, but he still feels like a bit of a kid to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was there when
a new guy on the block.
I was there when he joined the league, and fresh-faced, eager to play, happy-go-lucky guy. But the man's come a very long way in his league career. I expect him to continue to go very far, especially with this Mad roster. Was able to get the early push, was afraid of an early 1-1-3 gank who was threatening after a full bot side clear. Keeping my eyes now on Elyoya, who's trying to stay in the fog of war.
That's level 3, and they are going to try and fully go into this. Carzzy flashes away. Elyoya is roaming down as well. This can all go very wayward here for Astralis if they give over an early kill, and you do not want to try and get that Draven going. So get the flash, nicely done. Actually get the heal as well. So far so good for the Astralis jungle and bot lane.
Elyoya is here, covering, and he shouldn't have been spotted yet. 1-1-3. They're suspicious though.
Yeah, they know. They had a feeling.
It's so great to see this from pro players. That level of awareness of like, what if he is here? The fact that they always play that way is something that you very rarely see in your solo queue games, that's for sure. Nisqy though, looking to
You've been
get a
bringing
bit
up
of
solo queuing yourself a lot recently. It's a
well,
lot
I'm
of
actually just
trauma.
throwing shade at everyone else.
Yeah.
It's literally targeted at all of you watching at home. Yeah, you can use your D colon. Yeah, I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
Ward your bushes, okay? Ward them.
I am not affiliated with this man.
Yeah.
I do not have
You
to
don't
say-
ward either, do you?
Hey, I play support, man.
Yeah.
All I do is ward.
Okay.
I'm a ward bot.
Okay, I'll believe it when I see it. But in any case, speaking of wards, let's have a look at this bot side of the map. You can see, if I can find, this is the button that I'm looking for. You can see wards dropped pretty much everywhere. Of course, that is the Scuttle Crab as well, but it just provides great cover for Carzzy and Hylissang to play as aggressive as they want on the bot side of the map. There is always the risk of a lane gank with Carzzy having no flash, but fortunately, no level 6 on 1-1-3 just yet. The Ryze is now on the move, something that we often see. Elyoya threatening the dive. And even if they don't find anything, zoning Kobbe and JeongHoon off the wave is already a big advantage gain for the Mad Lions. But they're going for this.
They're going to go for it because Astralis Spotlight has said, we want to try and clear this wave. It will be cleared very shortly. The TP is going to be coming in. Heal does not keep him alive as Carzzy picks up a kill and will be taken out shortly afterwards. Now you've got Dajor, but not a huge amount of mana. They're trying to get one more auto attack onto him. Oh, not quite able to get the pass up there. Now Elyoya is dead. Nisqy is still firing off. You've got the barrier here for Hylissang. Flash, but Flash is answered. Dajor gets auto attack down and Nisqy picks up a double.
3 kills for 3 in the bot lane. An absolutely crazy exchange. The fact that Astralis was able to get 3 back here, it's massive props to them. A good TP comes in from Dajor. You can see the burst that comes down onto JeongHoon. Really good heal, but that does mean that Carzzy's able to get the last hit. He then secures tower aggro, making it easy for Dajor to get the secure. Hylissang can't actually help here, and Elyoya with his long cooldowns in the early game, he really can't do much, which means that it looks at this point Kobbe and Dajor are going to tear them apart, but Nisqy with the blue buff gets so much mana back. He has enough for his full combo, which allows him to secure that kill onto Kobbe, who still had the flash, wasn't expecting that burst, and now, oh, a good flash knockup from 1-1-3.
Yeah, I guess the knock up here, no bubble to land though, and now you're in a 3v2 here, and not going to be able to secure anything else off of this, and now you see the power of that Ashe support just slowing them down. Astralis trying to look for something. They're going to jump straight in here on top of the Vi, get him knocked up and taken down. So a good response there from Astralis. They're getting antsy and they're looking for plays.
A bloodthirsty early game as both mid laners find themselves with 3 kills at 6 minutes into the game. Wow, 1-1-3, very aggressive, diving onto Hylissang there. He knew that Hylissang had no flash, had no summoners really at all, and he thought that he could get a quick kill alongside JeongHoon, but the fact that Nisqy could collapse and really good sidestepping there from Hylissang allowed him to get away. Nice sidestep once again from Finn, but wow, okay, great stuff. Mad Lions with the gold lead for the time being as 1-1-3 going to kick off this Drake, but Elyoya, he's not going to give that one for free, but I'm not sure there's much he can really do about it. Astralis bot lane do have the push, yeah.
Yeah, they have priority, so they're not going to be able to try and really contest this. It's an early dragon going over to Astralis, similar to game number 1. They kind of work towards that bot lane priority to get them those early objectives, but we talked about, obviously, the mid laners having 3 kills. We can't really talk about that without looking at Nisqy, who's kind of picking up where he left off in that first game, where he just absolutely decimated people there. 7-0 and 9. 1-1-3 should be able to flag and drag over the side here. No one's really going to be going for him, but Nisqy was just on top of it, and he's back on top of it. He's having such a breakout split. He's just really coming back to form.
He certainly is, and he's one of the people that we're going to be keeping our eyes on this game. An incredibly stellar game 1. His team fighting was spectacular. The fact that he didn't die in what was a very bloody game, as Elyoya makes his way into 1-1-3's jungle.
Oh, we got the Realm Warp come in as well. Nisqy looking for him. Does land the Realm Warp, but the Blast Cone. The environment in favor of Astralis.
Oh, the dive.
Yeah, they're going to keep going with this one here, but this time around Astralis are ready and willing to back away. don't believe they can go for this one just yet. They will not have a heal here onto the Nami, but plenty of damage.
I really thought Elyoya was just going to Q and one-shot JeongHoon then. Very squishy Nami, of course. I guess he was cautious of the flash, and then once you go in on the Vi, unless there aren't many ways for you to get out, but the damage is done. Look at all these farm. Look at all these minions the Astralis bot lane is losing right now.
Losing a lot of minions, but I'm going to look at the gold right now because you can see Nisqy and Carzzy, definitely the biggest benefactors, or beneficiaries, excuse me. I think believe you and Medic.
Oh, you did a Vedi.
I did a Vedi. I'm a mini Medic, but inside I'm a mini Vedi, you know? It's just how it is. But again, look at the, the two carries on the side of Mad Lions doing what they need to do, which is getting that early gold.
Can you actually show me the gold very quickly?
Yes,
actually, maybe you won't have time to. I was curious if he's going to. There it is, the Bloodthirster and boots picked up for Carzzy. Of course, with the itemization changes, there was a lot of discussion around which champions would be the best, well, beneficiaries of the change.
I love how you were like, no, I'm not going to give him the satisfaction. I'm going to think about this and come at it from a different angle.
But it's... yeah, because now you can just rush the BT, the value. Like, you can go BT into Infinity Edge, and like that's a really powerful two-item spike for the Draven, because you don't necessarily need an attack speed item on the Draven, right? Because you do have the steroid on your W, which is what you'll end up maxing second. So you can see as well, for those at home unfamiliar with our UI, you can see stacks in the top right corner of Carzzy's icon on the right-hand side of your screen. So you can see right now he's sitting at 113. So you at home can keep track yourself of the stacks, and this is true for a number of other champions in our league, just for your awareness. The Rift Herald will go down in favor of Astralis. The question is, well, they look to invest that as Dajor is hovering around the bot side of the map. This will give window for Nisqy, though, to just keep pushing and secure some plates for himself. Yeah,
you know exactly what's going on. They've read the playbook, know what you can do. I will say, you've got Elyoya kind of sitting here in the jungle, so with level 6 just hit, might be in a little bit of trouble. There's the Everfrost coming out. Elyoya flashes away. They're going to go fully in on top of this. A 2v1, though. Going to be a 2v2. As they're going to try and make this one work. Elyoya does end up going down. Nice Cataclysm. They're jumping straight back in on top of Nisqy. But the Whirling Death does not land on top of him. Nisqy will be able to move away. Will it be his first death of the series? Yes, it will. Now Hylissang is way overextended, and Astralis are coming to life.
Just like that, Astralis find themselves 3 kills. Elyoya 2 levels behind Dajor. You've got to remember that a fully item completed for Dajor means that he has a lot of power much earlier in the game than he should. And Elyoya was not expecting that amount of damage. The Herald now being dropped in mid means that Kobbe is going to get even more gold off the back of this too. But the biggest thing, and the biggest reason why Astralis ended up walking away the victors, was because Kobbe and JeongHoon were able to collapse first. This means that also Kobbe secured himself a kill. And Astralis, while not finding the gold lead just yet, are in a much more commanding position. Just look at the damage from Dajor here. Elyoya uses his ultimate at the same time, so both end up becoming unstoppable. And you think at the point at which Dajor goes over the wall that Nisqy is actually going to lose his life, but he has the damage to secure the kill. Then 113 does commit the flash to getting on top of Nisqy to help him secure that. You can see that while the Draven does arrive, it's much later than that of Kobbe and JeongHoon, meaning that the numbers advantage go in favor of Astralis, and they're able to find the kills. 7-5 is now the kill lead. There's only really a 400 gold difference. And Astralis definitely looking a lot more alive in this early game.
It's interesting as well, because of all the movement that we've seen. Yes, it is 7-5 in favor of Astralis. A Dragon, a Rift Herald, lots of small little advantages they've been able to improve for themselves. Chasy not going to pull the trigger on his flash just yet, or on his explosive cast, but it is Mad Lions, like you just mentioned, a little bit of a gold lead, and it's down to the fact that Elyoya's just been farming, straight up. Like, he's just been trying his best to kind of get this, advantage up to him, and just keep his lanes just kind of topped up. So regardless of the objective and kill wins going in favor of Astralis, Mad Lions are keeping themselves very, very healthy in the gold department.
Pings are all coming down onto the bot lane. There will be a control ward spawning out Elyoya. Carzzy should be able to catch this wave. And keep your eyes on the mid now. Astralis were fighting with Nisqy for the mid-wave control. And the moment they spot out Elyoya on the bot lane, they're like, hey, this river belongs to us now. We can move in. That's exactly what JeongHoon and 113 are going to do. Now Dajor has joined the battle. He's collapsed in from top lane. Finn has TP, which he can use to go back to top. Let's see what Chasy will do. He should have to TP into mid.
Here we go, 113. Maybe he doesn't want the actual fight at all, or excuse me, not the Dragon, he wants the fight. They're going to use a tidal wave and just burst him out. Welcome to the bounce house. And while it's been happening, Dajor uses his own explosive cast that he stole use it against the side of Mad Lions, but a good pick there. They even actually get the TP out of Chasy, who was kind of a non-factor in that fight completely.
4 deaths now on Elyoya. Very uncharacteristic of him, but he has been the focus. Kobbe with good damage.
Oh, good flash as well. He completely sidesteps the CC coming out from Chasy. They're putting in a little bit of damage here, but that's still a full AP Gragas. He will still hurt. And you're in the middle of minions right now. This Nami is very much at kill pressure right now. Chasy looking for it. The whirling death is coming in, and Carzzy gets his stacks again.
Well played by Chasy, flash-eing to CC JeongHoon long enough to allow the ultimate from Carzzy to connect, seeing both the arrow and the Draven ultimate fly past. Very rare that you ever see that combo come together, but Mad Lions once again secure the gold lead. But props to Kobbe, 4 kills. I mean, how crazy is this? He has 4 kills, 2 assists, a fully completed item, and he's still behind in gold to Carzzy.
Power of Draven.
The power of Draven. He cashed in. I wasn't keeping track of how many stacks, but I think he was around 150 or so. So a lot of money went into his back pocket.
400 or so. You want to know the pure maths of it? It's stacks times 2.5 plus 40.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, I totally, yeah. Right there, yeah. Let me just,
no, man. I just want, you know what?
Yeah, now I know exactly how much gold he got. I'm just not going to tell you.
You know what? You'll tell spoilers, but you won't tell the stats.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
just how this works.
Yeah. If you're not going to do the math yourself, then yeah.
Why even here? Well, Elyoya is going to try and make this one work. The tidal wave is good to try and disconnect 113, but he gets shut down. That's more gold going to the Draven. Carzzy, though, in a lot of trouble, means he gets shut down. There's 2 kills, and they're going to continue this one on. The Realm Warp doesn't get taken by anybody. Nisqy, though, still very healthy. And all of a sudden, this is Astralis kind of putting the pressure here onto Mad Lions. They finally get themselves a goal lead.
Kobbe is slaughtering right now. 6-1-3 is the scoreline, and the man is becoming a monster. He's moving around these fights beautifully, and he's just picking up kill after kill. And what looked like 113 getting caught out of position was very quickly punished. What's crazy is the fact that the gold is still so close. It feels like that it should be much worse than it is. And again, like, you see 113 clearing out this ward. Like, it is a bit risky from 113 overall, but Carzzy, he can't quite land the autos that he wants, and so he commits to flashing over to securing this kill. But he puts himself in range of Kobbe, and now there's no peel for him, so the culling just eviscerates Carzzy. Then Dajor shows up, and at this point you realize that the collapse is real from Astralis as they secure 3 kills. And again, like, the gold is dead even, and a large part of that is because of mid lane. You can see that Nisqy is still very far ahead thanks to the farm that he's been picking up, and Carzzy, largely because of the CS lead that he has alongside the stacks that he's been able to cash in. It means that this gold stays very, very even. When you kind of look across the itemization, I mean, yeah, I would agree. Sometimes, I would say that if I was mad, I would feel weak right now. And I think the large part of that is because of how bullied Elyoya has been. He is a large part of your front line. Of course, he is only running on a black cleaver right now, but I fully believe that Kobbe could just kill that Vi right now with, like, little struggle as well. And with the arrow.
Arrow does land. They're going to try and jump at Dajor, who throws it back. Oh my god, that damage! The stopwatch stops him from getting collapsed upon as well. Now Carzzy flashes a wave, gets jumped on by the Cataclysm. They're going to try and kill him off before he can do anything else. Dajor with a double, Dajor with a triple, and Astralis are putting down Mad Lions.
Really good fight comes out from Astralis, and we're continuing to see them claw ahead, and that was largely just an execution difference. Dajor completely outplayed Mad Lions with a really good stolen Ashe arrow and a stopwatch too to just buy enough time. And we get to see the strengths of this composition and how much value the dive has. Remember that Carzzy doesn't have flash, and you're going to need to remember that fact later, because look at this stopwatch here from Dajor. Is able to mitigate the ultimate from Chasy. The Elyoya can't really get involved in the fight either. He tries to peel for his AD carry, but this ultimate locks down Carzzy, and there's nothing he can do, making it very easy for Dajor to get into the fight and clean up the kills to secure a triple kill. Now both of the big carries for Astralis find themselves with 6 kills.
Again, look, it's just great from Astralis. We saw from the interview with Trouble and AOD is that we needed to shake things up. We needed to be a bit more aggressive and try and get this going back in our favor. It's exactly what they've done. I don't know what they were talking about or what they had backstage when they went in for that, post-game 1 kind of break, but it's clearly working. And Mad Lions, they're going to need to try and find a different solution to what they're actually being thrown up against.
We saw it yesterday where it looked like with such a convincing game one, there was nothing that the other team could do. It was going to be a clean 2-0, but I'm sure you've seen this a fair share over in the LPL as well. Game one looks like a stomp, then you go into game two, and the team that just lost almost looks more motivated than ever after that initial loss. I guess that's what you want to see from the pros. Not being disheartened by the first loss and recognizing the areas of improvement, and then basically being able to slash through your weaknesses, you know, just quickly overcome and grow as players. The Dragon is alive, and you expect this to be the next big objective that both these teams fight for.
Again, it's why the best of threes have been honestly applauded throughout most of the community of the saying, like, look, you know, getting this in, being more competitive, because in a best of one, anything can happen, and that's the, you know, the beauty of it and also the bad side of it, because for Astralis, if this was a best of one, they would have lost. Go home. You don't have anything else to do today, but because it's a best of three, they can adapt, they can change, they can move themselves into a slightly different formation that gives them what they would believe is a better advantage. And now, putting themselves on soul point, that's not just any soul point, that is the Hex soul point, huge value for this entire team.
Looks like the cross map is going to come through. Astralis is going to drop this bot, should be able to secure that tower. Mad Lions doing the same thing, top side. But the pressure's now on for Mad Lions. This game is being accelerated, and these side lane threats are very real. Lucian quickly getting closer to that third item, which is very likely going to be the Infinity Edge. You see the clock continuing to tick away. Baron is going to be up in a minute's time. Next Dragon, obviously not for a while. You already talked about the Soul. Yeah, Astralis, we talked about at the beginning of the day, is this a team that is being underestimated? Well, coming into game two, they've definitely shown us more than I think many were expecting.
Absolutely, and giving themselves a little bit of a lifeline. Look, it's not over just yet. They obviously have plenty of games to still play. You still got to execute. You've had a great start. You're now on 2 items, as you mentioned, on your 2 core carries of Dajor and Kobbe, but they're going to jump straight onto Carzzy, who flashes away but gets flashed on immediately afterwards. TP's going to be coming in afterwards. 113 may have gone a little bit too far forward. The tidal wave will be good, and Carzzy cannot move! Right now, Astralis have found the weak link in Mad, and it has been that AD carry.
Jump in from Finn, not going to be able to convert it into anything. But the reality is that with the AD carry dead, Astralis can keep the push going. The Baron is alive, and they can threaten that.
Baron's not alive. 3 seconds.
Oh, I looked at the timer in the top right. Now the Baron is alive.
Now it's alive. But that's the thing. In most situations, you would have seen them turn and burn, try and get more pressure, force Mad Lions into a bad situation, but it's too early. But again, just great kind of focus right now, saying, look, find Carzzy, kill Carzzy.
And the thing is, from 113 here, is the moment he got the flash, I think he could have left. He could have just allowed Carzzy to flash away and then disengage. And the fact that he almost lost his life here, if it weren't for JeongHoon, could have been very bad. Hylissang, he's dead.
Yeah, he's not going to burn anything here. I don't expect him to try and go for that. But now, a lot of players from Mad Lions are on that bot side. Do you look for this Baron? There's no real vision whatsoever. They're going to start it off.
No reason not to. You can see the Vi making her way over. Can Elyoya get the steal? That's the only thing that they need to be concerned about right now.
Oh, but Kobbe, he's got damage. He's going to jump straight in. They actually deleted him. Kobbe just went away from the map right now, but now Finn trying to jump in here with the Jax to try and burn down some of these health bars. They are very, very low. Will not land. The Abductor trying to jump on the Nisqy now, get the CC onto him, but Elyoya is trying to save out his jungler. Finn will be traded there for the jungle of Mad Lions and Astralis. They went for the turnaround, but Kobbe just got nothing done.
That was a one team fight for Mad, and they were even able to shut down Kobbe. Good positioning for Mad overall. The fact that they could shut that down buys them a little bit more time. Astralis were playing with confidence, but the Baron, she is an illustrious mistress that has led many teams to their doom. And it felt like that Astralis were one step away from giving Mad Lions the comeback. But let's have a look back and see exactly what fell short. And you talked about Kobbe. Just keep your eyes on Elyoya here. He goes for the fight with Elyoya. He gets queued into ult into dead. Nisqy with the combo. Dajor tries to peel, but he can't quite get onto Nisqy. Instead, he focuses on Chasy, and you can see the damage coming out from this Ryze. Carzzy coming in from the flank as well. It's at this point that Dajor realizes he needs to disengage. While they do get that kill onto Elyoya, Carzzy cashes in once more. Not a huge cash in, admittedly, but still another kill going over to him. He's getting close to that Infinity Edge himself. Will they start off the Baron once again? I hope not. They won't. They're just going to clear out this vision for now.
Like a concerned parent. Please don't.
You guys are doing great. Really proud of you right now.
However,
let's not ruin this.
Yeah. Well, you've got Dragon in a minute. You've got yourself potential soul. We can't, you know, again, understate, I think, the value you could have with that as Elyoya goes forward there, and they're going to find Dajor completely isolated. They're going to send everyone on top of this Sylas. He goes into stasis because they know there's no real way they can take him away. And now Mad Lions find themselves in a 5v4.
We saw this last game. Dajor got picked off a number of times before the fight even started, or even during the fight. And him losing his life here, I feel it could have been a lot worse, but Mad recognized that the dragon spawns in 30 seconds.
Yep.
So while getting that pick is good, you committed a TP, and you don't have any setup around this Drake. I mean, let's just have a look as I bring up the minimap. You'll notice, like, zero vision whatsoever. Observers, if you can just show us what Mad Lions see right now, and you can see that it is not a lot.
They see blue buff.
Yeah,
I know that's there.
Now they do have, of course, these two things. Hang on, let me get rid of that real quick. They do have this available, and they just used another one, I believe, on our screens right there to try and get a bit of information, but they need to gain control over this mid wave. In fact, no, they're actually going to... Are they going to give this one up and exchange it for the Baron?
Oh, it's risky. You can see they're tempted by the idea.
Jax is starting it. Jax is starting it. The pressure's now on for Mad. They have to make a decision. They completely conceded the bot lane objective.
Shot is good, as is the Squire's Bloom that you highlighted earlier, but you're nowhere near to kind of moving forward to this because Astralis said, cool, we know you're not going on the Baron. We don't need to lean towards top side. We can just protect the Jax while still threatening you in mid. He stopped it.
He has stopped it. He was a little bit afraid about the collapse. Chasy is in a choke point here. 113 goes in.
113 goes in. Chasy True is Everfrost. Completely blind. There's going to be the Ashe arrow. Misses, but it is a very short cooldown. Do not get deceived by that. It is already going to start ticking away. So you've got an opportunity here as Astralis as they move in now. 113 going to go in straight away. Gets the Cataclysm down onto Nisqy and Hylissang. Hylissang is dead. Dajor goes on a trip way into the backside there, but is followed by 113 and by Finn. They're jumping on the Nisqy. The solo laners are dead. Astralis looked themselves in the eye during the break and said, that's not good enough. They're coming into game 2 with a plan.
And now the jungler of Mad is being zoned away. Astralis with a fantastic team fight. We're able to execute cleanly. Elyoya is dead.
Yeah.
No risk of a smite. Carzzy doesn't have his ultimate. That means that 5 for 4 at the end of the day, they can very quickly convert that into the dragon as well, and Astralis is looking to equalize the series.
This is great from Astralis, and honestly, they've really, you know, there has been one or two small mistakes, but this game too has been night and day as we look at this fight, because they just find a commit. 113 goes, and he keeps going.
Watch Carzzy. The reason why I'm telling you is because he's doing absolutely nothing in this fight. He cannot get involved. He's completely isolated from his team. And Astralis is just capitalizing on the fact that Kobbe can just tear through the opposition on the backline. You saw 3 members diving on top of Nisqy, and this is the big difference that we saw from game 1 to game 2. The composition is just easier to execute when it comes to the 5 versus 5. It's so much easier once the Jarvan goes in for Dajor and Finn to just follow up and execute whatever target they've decided to lock down. And now Astralis find themselves with a soul, with a Baron, and with a win in their eyes.
This Red Bull Baron power play is going to be paying pretty big dividends now, complemented with a side of a Hex Soul, the slow, the extra damage. And again, this Draven, it's a great pick if it can get ahead. And honestly, as you said earlier, despite the multitude of kills that went over to Kobbe early, the Draven was keeping instead. He was keeping himself relevant because he was getting cash-ins. That's completely gone now because he's just a short-range AD carry that's just going to be a little bit weaker. You don't have Nisqy here to try and defend this right now. And with Dajor having the pick of the litter of any of these ultimates, pretty much all of them are great for him. He's going to be able to zone out everybody. They're already on the Nexus.
Astralis threatening the Nexus towers. Kobbe not chipping away. He's tearing apart that tower. Now they move back towards mid, waiting for the next mid wave to come. Mikhail's going to keep this 113 completely safe. And that's going to be the base in tatters. Mad Lions looking for an opportunity to force a fight, but Astralis not going to give it to them. The base into TP from Finn, perhaps. They have their eyes on Carzzy.
Yeah, they're going to go for Carzzy there, and there's just nothing he can do. They get Hylissang after. Good bubble, getting the triple knockup. This is Astralis through and through. They looked their weakness, they slashed it down, and they came back fighting in game number 2. We are going the full 3 games.
Astralis, they recognize some of the failures in game 1. They were quick to adjust. I like the differences that they made in the draft. And they played very well. They were able to match a lot of what Mad was trying to do in the early game. Both mid laners, 3 kills at 6 minutes into the game.
Yes.
But it felt like that in these fights, it was Dajor that was consistently coming out ahead and the value that he had. And it was just that top side dive threat. While sure, when you looked at it in isolation, you can see how like, oh, it's more about side lanes, like attacking these, you know, well, going for picks, more skirmishes. But instead, when it came to the straight 5v5, Jarvan ults, the Sylas ults, the Nami ults, and you fight.
I mean, yeah, Sylas ult was all of their ults, and if you look on the other side of there, the mobility, the CC, everything to just kind of pick champion, shoot, you know, basically kill champion was huge. And Astralis give ourselves a series. We are going to send it to a quick break. When we return, the analyst desk are going to break down a little bit of a comeback.